Hey guys, I hope you guys can hear this alright. I have the AC on because it's a little humid and my bombs are starting to grow. I'm doing this a little earlier than I was planning on doing. Normally this is day 3, but this is why I say check on it on day 2. You'll have to excuse me. I am here alone. My cameraman is sleeping. So I'm going to attempt to do this with one hand, and there'll be parts probably putting the phone down. So just bear with me, please. This is what happened. I came down and checked on it, and it was a little more firm than it is right now. And that's okay. You want it to be firm, right? Because that's the thing. But what I did, and I think this will be easier for me to show you if I take it out of the bag. I didn't get a chance to clean my kitchen, so just ignore the dishes if you happen to see some. Oh, wow, I can really smell it. It smells good. Okay, so there it is. And it looks pretty good. It's still very doughy-like. But what I was trying to explain to you is when you squeeze it like this, and you get this, like it wants to come apart, like this will crumble up kind of easy. You can mold it back together. That's not a problem. But it's not the right consistency for it to be a dough yet. Because what will happen tomorrow, you're going to have a crumbly mess in your bowl, or you're going to have a pile of crumbles. So what I do right now at this point, and this is normally day 3, but like I said, I think because I had my little mishap, and I added that extra bit of dry, it just happened a day early, that's all. So what I'm going to do, and what you guys would do if this happened, is it goes back in your bowl, I crumble it all up, even if it's a bit doughy feeling, don't worry about it, okay? It's still very airy, and that's a good thing, but when you add the oil, that will change. And I know in my recipe I said to specifically use a certain type of oil to add. You can actually pick either of those to put in here if you want to. It's really totally your preference. I actually prefer the first type of oil personally, just because it has an indefinite shelf life. You know, it should be, I think that has a lot to do with how long the Play-Doh lasts, actually. Like, see, watch this. I should be able to, like, this would be fine. You could probably leave it. It's just, I know you're going to end up, it's going to end up drying up on you. And that's, I mean, it's not a waste if it does. It's still very mushy. And, I mean, you could just sit here and play with it and mush it all back into a ball and wait and add it tomorrow. Like, it doesn't really matter. But I try to get it done as soon as I can. I just don't like having to keep mucking with it for a couple of days. And no matter how many times I've made this recipe, I have had to muck with it for a couple of days. So, on that note, give me a second. I'm going to rinse my hand here. I don't want to put my fingers in the oil. Wow, we got bubbles. I'm not showing you because my sink has dishes in it. And I don't want that. Okay, so we're just going to dry off my hand here. And you're going to have to forgive me. Like I said, this is one-handed. I don't normally do this one-handed. I usually have a helper. Well, either that or a better computer that, you know, I can sit up and do. Hold on just 1 second, people. Bear with me. I only have one hand. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, now, and I know I told you guys tablespoon. I've been doing this for so long, I don't do tablespoons, okay? I call, what I call, you would put a tablespoon in, okay? But anybody that's seen my recipes or my descriptions, I say a bloop, okay? This will probably be a couple bloops. I will show you what a bloop is. This is it. Watch. As it starts to go, I stop. That's a bloop. That's probably about a tablespoon. But you will find out as you start mixing if you need more. That was a bloop. So that's about a tablespoon. Yeah, I just answered your question. A bloop is a tablespoon. So, that little bit goes a long way. You'd be very surprised. And I really wish I had another camera person here because I can't get some good grip. But this is what you do, is you add that little bit, and then you knead it. Like I'm talking, knead it like it's bread and you hate it. And you just don't want to do it anymore. That's the best way to do it. You want to get the fluffiness. Would you hear the air come out? You want to get the fluffiness out of it. The trick is for this to be a dense dough. And it's sort of the opposite of bread. You don't want it to get fluffy. So you're going to knead the crap out of it, pretty much. Excuse my French. But you just keep kneading it until you get a nice big dough ball again. It might feel tacky to the glove. I usually can tell by if it doesn't stick to the bowl. Which it's not. It's doing very good. But then again, I always test it with my hands, my normal hands, and I'm clean. So, yeah, it's perfect. It's got a tiny bit of a tacky feel. It's not sticky. There's no oil sticking to me. It's a nice, firm, squishy. It's still squishy, and it still cracks, but the trick is, watch, it goes back on itself, okay? That's sort of what I was saying. You can break a piece off and mold it, and you can actually test it under the water right now if you want to. The piece will probably want to dissolve on you, and it will do that for like the first day or two until you get the airiness gone. But this is a really good consistency of dough right now. So I just push it all back up. I mold it all into a ball. I put it back in a bag, and we check on it again tomorrow, okay? And I will do another little bit tomorrow. Like I said, sometimes it takes 9. Usually it's 8. That was 8 right there, but like remember, I added more powder, more dry. So I may have to add another tablespoon. It just depends on how this is tomorrow. Okay, so now I'm just going to roll it back into a ball, and I'll put it back in the bag, and that's it. I hope this helps a bit. So yeah, there will be another part of this tomorrow. We'll see how it is, and hopefully that'll be it. Thanks, guys.